Good morning. Today is Sunday, December 8th, 2024, and this is the weekly Bitcoin price forecast. So, looking at where Bitcoin went in the last week and where it could potentially go in the future. So this last week we finally did it. We broke 100K for Bitcoin, and it went up to about $103,000. Before turning around and kind of, you see we're at about like 99,000 right now. So 100K will be a pretty, it's going to take a little while to break through it thoroughly and maintain it. But once it does, and this all gets absorbed, this $100,000 level, it's going to take off. It's going to take off pretty quickly because there won't be that much resistance really until 150. Because again, there's nothing above here. This is unprecedented because we're at all-time highs, like again above everything. So think about it. It's actually a little crazy. So if you draw a line here, like this is your normal chart, there's this overarching line that continues on to the upside that you have to cross, and it looks like we're about to cross that area and really enter into like a new bull market. So once I put the drawings on, I will kind of show that. Actually, let's go ahead and do that now. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So if you draw from here to here to here to here, you see there's somewhat of a trend. Like, it couldn't break this line. Okay, we're going to run up here. Boom, couldn't break it again. Couldn't break it. And then you try one more time, going to break through it. So this is a highly contested area. So if it breaks through this area and it gets above this channel and it gets above 100,000, that's three major things that are happening all at once. And then it's really not going to stop until it gets to 150, because that is a relatively psychological level. 200, it'll probably take a little pause for a second, but it's not gonna. This is gonna happen quickly. This is what the definition of exponential motion is. When it starts off very slowly. I mean, this was months. This is a monthly chart, so this is months and months and months and months of nothing, and then it started growing. And actually, really, the bull market started like here. This was all just continuous growth, really. And you did have this sideways period, and guess what? Everyone forgot. Everyone forgot about it. They started paying attention to other stuff, and then boom, it comes out of nowhere. Bitcoin goes sideways for a long time or down for a long time. You see kind of sideways here, sideways, but like when it explodes and it actually grows, it takes off very quickly. It takes off. So let's see what the weekly chart looks like. So you had your bull flag, obviously, and you're growing parabola pretty much. This is the top of that trend line that I was talking about. Ran up, almost hit 100K, couldn't do it. Ran up, almost hit 100K, couldn't do it. Finally passed 100K and couldn't maintain above it, but still the fact that it did pass it is significant because now people are paying attention. They've been paying attention, but now it's starting to become undeniable at this point. So again, you have to break through all these levels. You have to break through 100,000. You have to break through this long-term trend line that's been there, and you have to break through like this upward channel. You got to break through all of that to be able to really just take off and start flying. Because you see, for several days, for a couple of weeks, it's just been kind of ranging and attempting. There have been attempts to break through this level, but it has not just yet. So I mean, you could even draw a trend line right here. And you see it's starting to consolidate and get closer and closer. So we're really close to breaking above and maintaining that $100,000 status. And I'm telling you, once it goes above there, it's going to be a good while, if ever, it comes back down to 100K. Because by the end of this time next year, by the end of the year next year, $100,000 by my estimates will be it'll be cheap. It will be considered extremely cheap at that point because we'll be in the $400,000 range. And that'll be like a 75% discount at that point. I think we're kind of done with those big 70, 80% discount moves like we've seen in the past. Like I don't think the supply and demand dynamics kind of lead into that. But anyway, this is the daily chart. I mean, it's really kind of consolidating right there. I don't have to go too much farther down to the 4-hour chart. We can kind of talk about like some of the higher level news events that may be happening. So again, just a whole bunch of consolidation, not really too much. Everything's above the moving averages. This all looks good. These sharp declines down, but yeah, you see it doesn't even go too far. It can't really cross the 100. It couldn't even close below the 50 moving average on the 4-hour chart. So yeah, this is super bullish. It's all bullish. So news, CPI, that's actually pretty big. That's your inflation rate. Yeah, that's your inflation rate, and that'll come out on Wednesday morning it says 8:30 a.m., but it's 7:30 a.m. Central Time. And then that's the only really major news event for the week. So let's take a look at that here. We're at 2.5% inflation year over year. Kind of sitting at 2.5. Really, do we have a hike last time? No, that was a prediction. It just kind of stayed the same, or maybe went down just a little bit. But we'll see what that ends up turning out on Wednesday. So that is the inflation number that'll come out on 7:30. So that'll be released then. The other major thing that's happening this week is Microsoft. So, obviously we're talking about all these different companies that are adopting Bitcoin and getting into the space. Microsoft is one that will have a shareholder meeting on Tuesday the 10th. And the question is, will they buy Bitcoin? And that's on the ballot, one of the things that they're voting on. I am of strong belief that they'll probably side with yes. I think the board of directors kind of try to sway people against it, but it's again, we're at 100K right now. Like, you can't deny it at this point. They would be foolish to not adopt it at this point. So what is that going to do? That's going to pump the price. Just because, again, once they do it, it's a domino effect before other companies start doing it. And again, that domino effect can happen quickly. Yeah, that's really it. I mean, they got that vote on Tuesday, so we'll see how that ends up shaking out. GameStop is another one that if you've been watching my videos, I've been paying attention to GameStop since about May. Really April. We've been paying attention to since April, and then like May and June was when it really popped off. So GameStop is at $29 now. It has gone up significantly over the last year. Really, I think from lows of maybe $4 or $5 to now being up $29. What is that? Like almost a 7x or a 6x, maybe even an 8x, just depending on where it was. I don't know how far it went down, but anyway, again, $29. There's a reason for that. There's a lot going on behind the scenes with GameStop that people don't understand, and like people don't necessarily they're not looking into, just because it is I think there's some political stuff going on. I think there is a little bit of corruption going on behind GameStop. Because when you look at the company on paper, it is a fantastic company. It really is a fantastic company on paper, but it has been so heavily shorted by Wall Street, and I think there's going to end up being investigations over the coming years. Even in 2025, I think we'll start seeing investigations as to why this stock was held down so much. A lot of people remember, what the situation was in like 2020 when I guess it was 2021 when everything started running up with GameStop. But I think we're going to see something more fantastic this time. I really do. But we'll see. We'll see how that ends up shaking out. Last thing that happened in this was there was a tweet from our favorite Twitter account, Roaring Kitty, on December 5th. That was Thursday or Friday. I can't remember. What was that? That was Thursday. Yeah, Thursday afternoon. The day after Bitcoin hit 100K. So I think that's interesting too. I think there is a little bit of interplay between crypto and GameStop. I have a feeling that there's some crypto that's going to end up coming out of it. There have been hints. But if you look at this was December 4th, and really all it was is it's a magazine cover. He customized this himself, and it has like 109 down here. I have not really dug into the rabbit. I haven't gotten into the rabbit hole of what this means. You got the 420 here. This is the old YouTube logo. This is the old YouTube setup from like way back when. Wow, it's kind of cool to see. But there's always there's always a meaning behind the images and whatnot. So again, I have not done the research right now to see what this may potentially mean. And again, no one ever knows. But again, stuff is starting to click. It's starting to add up, and we're getting there. I really do believe that we're getting there. So yeah, I don't really have too much else to talk about. Obviously, obviously Bitcoin's going, everything's going. Ethereum's at $4,000. Let's take a look at that. Ethereum is like roughly $4,000. So it hit 4,000 over the last month. You see it did tap 4,000 and then just kind of slightly went off as people take profits, understandably. Like, think about it. Like, let's look at everything over the last 5 years. Ethereum got up to about 4,600. So we're not too far off from all-time highs. Not too far off from all-time highs. I think we're approaching alt season. We're approaching alt season very quickly. And again, that's where the real money in crypto is made. So I guess last thing I'll say is, we do have our crypto escape velocity course out. We put a lot of work into that for sure. Just being able to distill this information down to something that's palatable. Myself, Orlando, Chris, my other business partners, Trav, Nosai, we all kind of put a lot of time into this. So I would definitely advise checking it out. We actually do have a sale going on. Since Bitcoin hit 100K, that'll be running for the rest of the day going into tomorrow. So by all means, take a look. So other than that, this has been Chris Talks Crypto. Take a look at crypto-based resources on christalkscrypto.com, and I will see y'all on the moon. Take care. Bye-bye.